Since drafting Josh Allen, the Bills have been transformed into must-watch television with one of the most explosive and dynamic offenses in the entire NFL. They have done it by adopting a ton of spread college elements and combining those with Josh Allen's incredible arm talent and ability to get into the open field and become a weapon in the run game. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the key principles that make this offense so tough to stop. We're going to have specifically designed plays to attack defenses just like the real-life Bills do. Then we're also going to go over their main stars of their offense so you can target similar players, and all of this will enable you to play like the dynamic Bills offense in Madden 24. Now, formationally, the Bills love to implement these spread looks, and one of their go-tos is empty, where they can put Josh alone in shotgun and everything else is super spread out, and this can simplify his reads and allow him to use his huge arm to pick apart defenses. Then even when they're not in empty, they still want to implement shotgun looks, where they'll have 3+ wideouts on the field, and they can utilize a ton of speed to allow them to get vertical down the field, where they can team up with Allen's deep ball and make defenses pay over the top. And to replicate this offense, we are going to be using these 3 formations in the Kansas City Chiefs Playbook. And this is actually all part of a bigger scheme I am creating, where I'm going to break down 5 offenses from today's NFL that really utilize this spread offense that has taken the whole league by storm. And when they pair these spread concepts with young dynamos at QB, it becomes next to unstoppable. And then all 5 of these offenses will be run out of the Chiefs Playbook, so you can use all of them together to create one giant scheme. And the playlist for everything that is out so far will be down in the description below. Now, from the moment Josh Allen stepped on the field in the NFL, he has had one standout trait above all else, and that is his cannon right arm. He is probably a top 5 arm in NFL history and can place the football into any area of the field on a rope. So the Bills have built their offense to perfectly complement this, first by designing plays that are built to push the ball down the field, but they've also made sure they have gotten big play wideouts with speed to get down the field, get in behind defenses where Allen can let deep balls fly. So for their deep threat, the Bills use Gabe Davis, and he's incredible at making plays down the field, and he averaged more than 17 yards per reception in the NFL last season. And in my mutt offense in this role, I'm using Devin Hester, who has the speed and big play ability to be the perfect speed deep threat for this Bills offense. To start it off, we have the play red zone up in gun empty trip speed. And this is the type of play the Bills love to use to get open receivers down the field, where Allen can use his rocket arm to place the ball in a perfect spot for his receiver to make a play. This is an amazing play to push the ball deep down the field versus zone with 3 vertical options, getting deep, allowing us to use our big armed QB to pick up some really big pickups over the top. Start this play, come out with your trip side to the short side of the field, then take the outside receiver on the wide side, motion him in and put him on a streak, then take the outside receiver on the wide side and put him on a streak as well. Now, first I want to look to the safeties, and if we get too high pre-snap, then we want to look to the slot fade right away. And if after the snap it's cover 2, then you're going to see the fade is going to get free, untouched up the sideline in behind the cover 2 corner. Then the safety will get held inside by our streak, and you can pass lead this up and away as far as you can and drop it in outside the safety for a big gain along the sideline. Then if pre-snap we see single high, or if after the snap we see they're in cover 4, then we want to come off that fade and we want to go to the deep corner route on the short side of the field. And unless they have deep flat zone set really far back, this player will be wide open along the sideline. You can just drop it in for a really big game. Then lastly on this play, we want to play off the user, and we are going to have this 7-yard dig coming across the middle, and if the user stays shallow or leaves the middle to try to take away the fade or the corner route, then this route is going to break up the field, get in behind the linebackers, and you can drop it in for a really big pickup. This route really just completes this play, because not only are we putting a ton of pressure out on the sidelines, but now we have this really unique route that you're not going to find in many other plays that is just going to get to such a tough area of the field for really nice gains. Next, we have the play dagger sit in gun trio HB weak. Here we're going to utilize a deep over route just like the Bills used to get their fast receivers open down the field, where they can use Allen's tremendous arm talent to push the ball down the field for huge plays. This is going to be an amazing cover 3 1-play touchdown we can use to get easy scores against the most common coverage you will face. Start the play, come out with your trips to the wide side of the field, then there is just one adjustment. Take the inside slot player and put him on a streak. So this play is designed to bomb cover 3. In post snap, you will see the inside streak player is going to pull the middle safety back, then the tight end corner route is going to hold the backside corner down, and now this deep over will get wide open and you can just let it fly and bomb the defense deep for 1-play touchdowns. Then if post-snap they switch up the coverage and the deep bomb isn't there, then we have the running back in the flat as a check down or the dig coming in over the middle, so you can just go to whichever one is more open for your second option. Then along with his arm, the other aspect that has made Allen such a problem for defenses to deal with is his incredible running ability. He will use it as a safety valve in the pass game where he can buy time, escape the pocket, and look for receivers to get open down the field, where then he can use his arm with his legs to make a ton of plays. But then he can also be even more dangerous in the design QB run game, where he can use his very good speed and scary size to just add a whole new element to this Bills offense. And over the last 2 seasons, Allen has gotten over 760 rush yards per game, making him one of the most dangerous running QBs in the entire NFL. So in this spot, I'm using the Josh Allen Elite card, and for this role, we really need 2 attributes. We have to be able to push the ball down the field and make big plays over the top. Then we also need him to have the speed and ability to be a weapon in the run game. Next, we have to play speed option in gun trio HB weak, or you can use it at a gun tight open. The Bills love to use Allen in the design QB run game, where they can use his elite athleticism to make plays with the ball in his hands in the open field, and he's one of the most electric QB runners in the NFL. So with this speed option play, it's all about reading the defender with the P over his head, and once you snap the ball, you want to carry it with your QB, and you want to suck the defender into your quarterback, and once he is committed to you, then you can flip it out to your running back, and now you should have a ton of room to operate in space, and you can bust off some huge gains. Then if after the snap, the P defender jumps out to play the running back, or the P defender isn't actually on the edge at the start of the play, then we can actually keep the ball with our QB, get in behind our blockers, and make a play in the open field with our athletic quarterback. Next, we have to play RPO pin alert bubble in gun trio HB weak. Then the other dimension the Bills love in their run game is the RPO, where they can put the ball in Allen's hands and let him decide if he should hand the ball off, or if the defense cheats, then he can fire out a pass and make defenses pay for cheating and not staying honest. For this play, we want to run it with trips to the wide side, and we want to check this side before we snap it. If we outnumber them on the outside, then after the snap, we just want to throw the bubble screen out on the edge, get in behind your blockers. We'll have the numbers advantage, and we can just let them make their blocks, then get into the open field and make a play with our receiver. Then before the snap, even if the defense has enough defenders on that side where we don't have the numbers advantage, you still want to watch the players over top of the bubble, and if at the snap they collapse down inside on the run, then you can fire out the bubble once again, get in the open field, and just pick up the easy yards they give you. Then lastly, if at the snap the bubble isn't open at all, then you can just hand this ball off to your running back, and you're going to have a lineman pulling out in front, and you can just let him pick up his block and then explode in the backfield and pick up some big yards with your running back. Then the Bills have been near the forefront of the spread revolution that has been sweeping the NFL. This playstyle is built around spreading out defenses and allowing for simpler reads for the QB and using every blade of grass on the field to attack defenses. And the Bills have built their entire offensive philosophy with the spread offense as the backbone of how they attack defenses. Bills use their spread 11 personnel grouping with 3 wideouts on the field 65% of the game, and that is good for 7th most in the entire NFL. Then they sit in shotgun or empty looks where they can utilize all of Allen's talents 65% of the time, which is good for 5th most in the NFL. One of the key players for the Bills spread offense is their tight end Dawson Knox. He's an excellent receiving tight end and helps make their spread formations that much tougher to handle. And at my tight end, I'm using Hunter Henry, who brings a ton of that same receiving talent and good speed to the table. And those are the main things we are trying to target for the tight end position in this scheme. Next, we have to play Y corner in gun empty trip speed. Here we're going to be an empty with a super spread look, and this is something the Bills do a ton to simplify the reads for Josh and force the defenses to show their hand, and the Bills can just make them pay. This is going to be an amazing man beater where we have 5 players all as great options versus man coverage, enabling you to attack each level of the defense and pick up easy completions versus man coverage. To set this up, have your trips to the wide side, then take your outside receiver on the wide side, motion him in and put him on a whip. Then take the middle receiver on the wide side and put him on a whip as well, and that is it. So first place I like to look here is the tight end option route, and if they have no safety over the middle, this is where I want to go to basically every time, and he's going to turn into this really sharp post versus man coverage, break off from his man, and as long as the user isn't there, I'm going to fire it in, and I usually have enough space to rack catch this ball, get in the open field, and be a playmaker with my tight end. This is one of my favorite routes I've used so far in Madden 24 to beat man coverage, and it just does a great job of separating for easy gains. Then if they do have a safety in the middle to limit this post, this is where I want to look to the slot with my corner route. This route also does a great job of separating, and you want to throw it right after the break, and if you see separation, you can also rack catch this if you have space to pick up even more yardage. Then for the check down on this play, if the deep options aren't there, we have our two whips breaking out, and you can just go to whichever one has more separation for a really easy gain underneath. Then if you want to take this offense to the next level, you need to check out my website, Scheme Kings. Up right now is part 2 of this Bills offense, where I give you 7 more plays that are going to give you so many more great options to attack your opponent that include great run plays, some very good man-beating options, and then some ways to really push the ball down the field for some huge gains. And when you combine this with the free stuff on YouTube, this is going to make this Bills offense almost impossible to stop. Then also on the site, there's a new area where you find all of my schemes for Madden 23, and where you can find my upcoming schemes for Madden 24, like this NFL spread offense. And we already have a full mini scheme up to go along with this Bills offense, and then a ton more on the way. Then if you want to check out Scheme Kings, I'm running my Madden 24 launch sale. This runs till August 31st. Use code M24 at checkout for 50% off your first month. Next, we have the play Flood HB Flat and Gun Trio HB Weak. Here we're going to utilize an option route, and this is something that the Bills use a ton in their offense, where the player will break to a different area of the field depending on the coverage, making it almost impossible for the defense to cover. This is going to be an excellent quick game play against zone coverage, where we can make it so difficult for the zones to cover everyone because they are so spread out horizontally, and we can just pick them apart for easy gains. To set this up, have the trips to the wide side, then take the middle slot player and put him on a hitch, and that is it. Now the first place I want to look here is the flat defender on the wide side, and if he stays back and inside on the hitch, you just want to quick throw the running back and let him pick up the easy yards underneath in the flats. Then if after the snap the flats bite down right away, then we want to go inside to the shallow hitch sitting down, and we can just drop it into him right away for a really nice quick hitter. Then after that, if we see the user jump out to those 2 out routes, or they both are just taken away, then that is where we want to move our eyes back inside further to the option route, and versus zone, he's going to sit down deeper down the field, and you can fire it in for a nice pickup. Then after the snap, if they surprise you and they're running man coverage, then this option route is going to be your go-to route. So now instead of sitting down versus zone, he's going to break out to the sideline, lose his man, and you can just fire it in for a really easy pickup. Then lastly, if the linebackers jump out and try to take the option route, then we have the tight end sitting down versus their zone, and this is your 4th option on this play. Then the other engine that really drives this Bills offense forward is Stephon Diggs. He is one of the best wideouts in the entire league, and since joining the Bills, his stats have been incredible, getting over 1,200 yards each of his first 3 seasons, while hitting the high point of 1,535 yards in 2020. He does this by being one of the best route runners in the entire NFL, and if he ever gets one-on-one coverage on the outside, then DBs are going to be completely cooked, and he will absolutely abuse these players, leading to a ton of huge plays down the field for this Bills offense. So in this number 1 wideout spot, I'm using the Chad Johnson legend card. He's the perfect player for this spot. He's excellent at beating one-on-one man coverage, and is going to be our go-to option versus these looks. And then he has the speed to get down the field and make big plays just like Stephon Diggs. Next, we have the play Jet Chip Wasp and Gun Trio HB Weak. This is the exact type of play the Bills love to use their superstar wide receiver and Stephon Diggs on, where they can get him soloed up with man coverage in one-on-one, where he can use his elite route running to break off from his man for some big plays down the field. This is going to be incredible versus man coverage with amazing spacing and giving us options to attack each level of the field, and can give us some really huge gains down the field, making defenses pay if they try to sit in man all game. To set this up, have your trips to the wide side, then we want to take the Wasp route, which is the middle slot player, and we want to motion him across the field, and this will turn him into this nasty post route. Then you want to take your tight end and put him on an out route, and then lastly block your running back. So the key route here is the motioned over route, and he is going to run this nasty deep post, and once he breaks, he will get great separation, and you can just fire this in for a huge gain down the field. Then if there is a deep safety covering this post, or it just isn't open, then we are going to have this deep crosser coming from the other side of the field, and if he has separation, then you can just fire it into him for a big gain, and if you have a step, then rack catch it, get into the open, and make them pay. Then if they have a safety taking away the post and the crosser is covered, then we have this dig coming in behind the cross for a great 3rd option on this play that really does a great job of getting separation versus man. Then lastly, if they're bringing a quick blitz or you need a check down, we have this tight end on an out route, and you can just drop it into him for some easy yards. Now this Bills offense is going to make you so tough to stop, and remember to check out part 2 that is up right now on Scheme Kings to make this offense even better. But to help you even more, I have my intro video for this NFL spread offense, where I break down the 5 offenses we will be looking at in this scheme, and I go over all the personnel you are going to want to use. So to check that out, you need to watch this video right here.